Welcome back to Believers IAS Academy. In today's session on species and news, we'll be discussing two important species. One is the Indian vulture, and second being the Pallas's cat. Two of them are in news for their own unique reasons and becomes absolutely important to study them individually. Well, moving on to the first species, it is the vulture. And why is it in news? Because of the recent portal becoming the India's first vulture conservation portal, which was launched in Assam recently by the V Foundation India Group. V Foundation India Group, along with or in collaboration with the Guwahati's Universities of Department of Zoology. Right, so of course all these things are not the agenda of discussion of this particular video. We will be sticking more in terms of the vulture conservation, or with respect to vulture as a species. But yeah, from the examination point of view, let's little try and enunciate this particular thing. So basically this is a portal, like a cloud enabled or a cloud based portal, which acts like a repository for collecting or storing data related to these vulture species, which can have all the scientific data related to the species, which helps to create awareness, right? To help, or let's say to create awareness or to raise awareness with respect to its conservation, especially to the researchers, NGOs, citizens, and even the government. And another unique feature is that this particular informations or the awareness that it tries to create is also possible through local languages. And now it has been started in the local Assamese, but there are instances and possibilities that it can be extended to other regional languages also, right? So now coming to the main topic, the vulture conservation, or let's say vulture as an important species. In India, we have about 9 species of vultures, and those are the white rumped vulture, Indian vulture, slender-billed vulture, red-headed, Himalayan griffon, Egyptian, cinereous, bearded, and even we have Eurasian griffon. Now, talking about its IUCN red list, each of these vulture species are classified under various categories of IUCN red list. So especially in the critically endangered, we have the white-rumped vulture, slender-billed vulture, and long-billed vulture. From the endangered, we have the Egyptian vulture, and in the near threatened, we have the Himalayan griffon, cinereous vulture, and even the bearded vulture. And in the least concern, we have the griffon vulture, right? And why is this vulture so important, or let's say the crucial necessity of vulture to our ecosystem is because of its natural cleanup or natural tendency, or we also call them the nature's cleanup crew, as they feed on animals which are decomposing, especially the animal carcasses, preventing disease spread and keeping ecosystems healthy, and all thanks to the strong digestive juices present in the stomach of vultures, which can digest anything and everything, even to strong viruses and strong diseases that can even spread cholera, right? So that is how, or the kind of importance that this particular species has in terms of maintaining public health and environment by cleaning or feeding on the dead and the decomposing. Still, there are few major threats associated with vulture. One is the toxicity or diclofenac poisoning. We also call it diclofenac poisoning, right? As they feed on the dead and decomposing, especially if diclofenac was administered to any of the livestock or any particular animal on which the vulture is feeding on, this diclofenac used to pass on to this vulture, and obviously it used to get diclofenac poisoning, right? So one of the important or the most deadly reasons, or let's say one of the major threats of this vulture population. And obviously the habitat loss, food security, electrocution of these vultures, and the human disturbance, right? Now talking about the conservation efforts, we have a few of the breeding centers in Rani, especially the Assam region, and then one in Pinjore and Haryana. And also we have an action plan for vulture conservation, right, which is active from 2020 to 2025. So of course this is more than sufficient to know. Now coming to the prelims question, with reference to vulture conservation in India, consider the following statements. India is home to 9 species of vultures, including the slender-billed vulture and red-headed vulture. See, these species, subspecies, or all the species, the 9 species which are present in India, very important. It is good that you remember all of this, and especially remember the ones that are either critically endangered or also the least concern, because UPSC, if they have to make a question, normally they tend to interchange this. They might give griffon vulture in the question and they might ask that it is critically endangered, or they might take something from the critically endangered like the slender-billed vulture and say that it is least concern, right? It comes under the least concern category of the IUCN red list. So that is how the questions mostly gets framed. So it is important that you remember all these species name and also which category it comes under, right? Yeah. Coming back to the question, India is home to 9 species of vultures, including the slender-billed vulture and the red-headed vulture. Diclofenac, a veterinary drug, is a major cause of vulture mortality in India. The vulture conservation breeding centers are located only in Assam and Haryana. So use the comment section to leave your answers. Now coming to the next species, the Pallas cat, right? The Pallas's cat. So the Pallas's cat is also known as Manul. This is another name for this. In fact, it is a cat, but a very small wild cat which is native to Central Asia, right? And unique features or characteristic features of this particular cat, that it has very short legs and has a very dense fur. In fact, practically, if we have to see, this particular Pallas's cat is way more small than the normal cat that we see, normal domesticated cat, that we see. It is even more small in size as compared to those domestic cats, but because of the dense fur that this particular cat has, it looks gigantic because of the dense fur. And as we already discussed, it is also known as Manul, right, and is also one of the oldest feline species in the world, right? Oldest feline. So what is feline? Feline is the family of cat, right? Cat family. So it is considered to be one of the oldest feline creatures, and also is a feline species from Central Asia, which actually yelps like dogs, right? Like a small puppy, right? And they are also talking about its unique hunting characteristics and how active they are. They are mostly or active during the day. They hunt during the day. And talking about the lifespan, they usually have a lifespan of 8 to 9 years, right? And why are we studying this? Because recently the World Wildlife Fund, India Wildlife Survey, has captured the first ever photograph of Pallas's cat in the Arunachal Pradesh region. So hence is in news and is very important. And talking about the size and features, it stands about 30 to 35 centimeter tall, which is approximately 1 feet, with a thick dense fur coat for insulation. And talking about its habitat, it is found in rocky steppes, montane grasslands and shrublands, and its distribution includes Central Asia, where especially the Iran, Afghanistan, Mongolia, Russia, Pakistan, and even northern India. And talking about its diet, they feed mainly on small mammals such as marmots, pikas, ground squirrels, and voles. And talking about the conservation status, very important. It is listed as least concern on the IUCN red list and is protected under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 in India. Now moving on to the prelims question. Consider the following statements about Pallas's cat. It is found only in India, mainly in the Himalayan region. It is listed under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Its conservation status as IUCN red list is least concern. So which of the statements are correct? So use the comment section, leave your answers below, and that is all for this particular video. I hope you have liked the video. Please subscribe to Believers IAS YouTube channel and stay tuned until we come up with another video. Until then, signing off. This is Madan Gopal. Have a beautiful day.